Fun basketball is back with the Toronto Raptors, and it was once again on full display in the 116-111 victory against the Memphis Grizzlies in a game where Raptors could have easily won by more. A lot of stuff to like, some stuff not to like, but we're going to break it all down for you in tonight's post-game show. Reminder, guys, we do content like this for every Raptors game. If you want to see that sort of thing, then make sure you're subscribed to the channel, join the Amateur Hour Army, and also smash that like button to help drive us up in that YouTube algorithm. It really does make a difference. But the Raptors grabbed their second consecutive win here, one win away from the Darko pizza party. And look, as much as like win-losses, yeah, those are something that we need to be concerned about. I really just wanted to see the Raptors take a step in the right direction as far as just game planning and on-court product, and they certainly have done that, and it's a distinct byproduct of the trade for Immanuel Quickley, who was outstanding tonight. And, well, yeah, RJ Barrett was in the deal as well. We had the full RJ Barrett experience today is what I'll call it. You had the great moments, and you had the not great moments, but overall, some outstanding performances from the Raptors here. We'll start off by saying the game plan here, perhaps a little bit lacking from an offensive standpoint. Maybe the method, the process was decent, but the shots weren't quite falling early. We'll give a bit of the benefit of the doubt. The lead never got quite to 10 for Memphis. It almost did. It got to 8 at one point. But the Raptors and the bench unit go on a big run to end the first quarter, give the Raptors the lead after the first, and the Raptors did not look back from there. Second quarter was outstanding. You really had Quickley getting into the game after a rough start. Siakam had an outrageous first half. Barnes was excellent in the first half. Dennis Schroeder continues to shine in his role off the bench rather than as a starting player. Still gets his minutes, but it just feels like it's a completely different vibe when he is running the second unit and just coming in spots with the starters. So we'll give credit there to Darko lineup-wise. I thought it was good today. Honestly, the only lineup I didn't like was the end of the first quarter when no Barnes, no Siakam on the floor. Although that was probably the best stretch of games point-wise for the Raptors. It's something I didn't think would work. It did in this circumstance. It is what it is. Defensively, there was some really good adjustments in the second quarter that were the catalyst for the Raptors going on a big run, 11-0 run to end near the end of the second quarter to get themselves out to this big advantage. They did lead by 20 at one point, mind you, in this game, but going zone for a period of time really helped us out in the second quarter, really took away a lot of Memphis's games, so we'll credit Darko for that. And plays. I mean, there was not many, not enough, I'd say, but offensively, there were actually some plays being drawn up on offense, specifically on inbound plays, specifically out of timeouts, which we haven't got enough of yet this season. And I think it's looking a lot cleaner because Immanuel Quickley is involved in these plays, and his threat, his spacing is just so good for this team. He led the way with 26 points. Immanuel Quickley, I tried to tell you guys, I mean, it's only 2 games here, but I tried to tell you guys, Immanuel Quickley is the centerpiece of this trade. He is the better player here. Perhaps some people are starting to realize 26 points for Immanuel Quickley, 8 of 18 shooting. He started rough shooting-wise, but really picked it up. He got 5 assists, 3 rebounds as well. There was one sequence in that third quarter where we needed a bucket. We call a timeout. We were up by 10. We were up by 20. The Grizzlies made it 10. We call a timeout. We come out of the timeout. We run a play where we get the ball to Siakam. We pin down for Quickley, who flares up to the three-point line. He's open. Barnes finds him for the catch-and-shoot three-pointer. He hits it. 13-point game. Get the defensive stop. Go in transition other way. Quickley with the ball in his hands. Kicks it to Scotty Barnes. Has the ball in his hands. Kicks it to Scotty Barnes for a catch-and-shoot 3. And he makes as well 16-point game. So it was Barnes to Quickley for catch-and-shoot 3. Then it was Quickley to Barnes. The next play for catch-and-shoot 3. Spacing, vibes, confidence, all here. Scotty Barnes as well with a terrific game. 20 points, 8 assists, 2 rebounds, and a steal. 7 of 14 from the field as well. 2 of 5 from 3. Pascal Siakam was also electric, specifically in the first half. He had a 16-point first half. He ends the game with 24 points, 7 rebounds, 9 of 14 shooting, and 1 of 2 from 3. His threes starting to come back a little bit to himself. Pirtle was excellent defensively, not his finest offensively, but with so much talent around him, he didn't really need to be used. Only 2 of 7, but he did have 5 rebounds, and he did have, my goodness, 5 blocks for the big man. As I said, Dennis Schroeder off the bench was also excellent. 6 of 11, 16 points, 5 assists, 7 rebounds. Not Gary Trent's finest, but Darko is really leaning into that 6-man mostly. He's really leaning into a 7-man unit, and then maybe slightly adding in an 8th guy. Jonte Porter got some minutes to end the first and start the second. He was +9 in those minutes. We'll see if that experiment continues as we go forward. But the changes Darko Rajakovic is trying to make for this team, he's leaning into his starters more. He's leaning into Siakam's abilities more. We're starting to see some adjustments being made on the defensive end. And so far, these changes are working. They were easy ones he should have done already, but he's starting to come around on this team a little bit more. But, you know, against the Cavs and the Grizzlies, not the hardest opponents. They were favored slightly against the Cavaliers, underdogs slightly against the Grizzlies, but Grizzlies were second night back-to-back. Don't want to get too caught up in this honeymoon phase here, but it's just been fun basketball. Where we had a little bit of problems here with R.J. Barrett today, there's some, like, outstanding plays, and there's some bad plays. Like, he has 14 points, 5 of 12 shooting, 2 of 5 from 3. Like, on the surface, yeah, that's great. 7 rebounds, 3 assists as well. But some of the shots here, so what the RJ experience is, you'll have, like, these amazing plays. Sometimes he's hitting his threes, but you'll have him get his head down when he's in the paint and take a bad shot. He'll try to fight through too many players. Sometimes he needs to slow down, see the court a bit more, is missing kick-out opportunities. He gets his head down, really gets in a bit of tunnel vision, either puts up a tough shot, or there was a sequence in the third quarter where he turned the ball over like 3 times in 5 minutes because he tried to get in the paint and got stripped or made an errant pass. Just some of the decision-making stuff in there. Like, he's clearly an extremely talented player, and he's 23. He's very young, and he's with a team where he now has a lot more of a leash to do his thing, play his game. And I think that's really going to benefit him. But there's going to be the growing pains a little bit. And he's also going to settle into a new team. But the growing pains here are going to be the decision-making stuff. And the one specific decision-making thing I'll highlight, 50 seconds to go, Raptors were up. It was either 8 or 10. I believe it was 8. And they bring in R.J. Barrett on defense after a free throw made by the Raptors play on the defensive end to help us get a stop. And what he does is he fouls off the ball on Marcus Smart and puts the Grizzlies into bonus and puts them at the line. He gets subbed into play defense to help drain the clock and get a stop. And immediately what he does is he gives them a bailout, gives them free throws without taking any time off the clock. That was a bad decision. So it's just the decision-making stuff, and that's maybe one example, but the 3 turnovers were really sloppy. You only had 3 in the game, but those are really sloppy. And some of the shooting, just the decision-making isn't quite there. But young, talented player, we're going to continue to work from him. What I love about his game is that he hustles. He had some really nice hustle plays, 7 rebounds, snatched one off Xavier Tillman in the first half and took it the other way and found a great outlet pass to Scotty Barnes, which turned into, I believe it was an Immanuel Quickley corner 3, or it was a Siakam corner 3. Whichever it was, it was Barrett outlet to Barnes and then pass to the corner for a 3. So there's great things about his game, but there's some good and bad, which we'll clean up over time, as I said. Immanuel Quickley is just a guy, though. I mean, the Raptors for so long were playing with a team where it's like, man, where are we going to get dribble penetration? Where are we going to start to move this defense around? How are we going to get any plays going? Well, we have solved that so tremendously here. You've got Quickley who can do it from the start. Barrett has a knack for doing it. Barnes, now with the additional spacing, it's coming easier to him. Same can be said for Pascal Siakam. Dennis Schroeder off the bench is doing it more often and taking much smarter shots overall for this team. So it's just so much easier for things to happen and things to move. And I think one other great piece here is that if you really want to see some talent and why I'm so high on Immanuel Quickley, like, just watch Immanuel Quickley at all times. Don't watch the ball. Watch Immanuel Quickley, because his off-ball movement are finally generating advantages for this team. Like, all throughout the season, like, yeah, Darko's offense, they've been passing. They've been moving off the ball, but they don't actually create advantages. The defense doesn't care about this stuff. But now Immanuel Quickley moving off the ball, they really have to worry about that, and it's creating advantages. They're moving around. Defensively as well, Immanuel Quickley is a very nice defender, a very nice help defender, an off-ball defender, navigates screens better. So a lot to love about him and his involvement in the trade. But as I said, we pushed the pace. We knocked down threes today. Got good shots up. Good decision making for the most part. Solid defense overall. There's not much to be upset about this performance. 48% from the field, 46% from three. You win the rebound battle. Turnovers got sloppy second half, but you only lose that one 12-10. 23 fast break points. Slowed down second half for the Grizzlies. Took that away a little bit, but game plan mostly correct here. Adjustments mostly correct. And individual performances were very much there for the Raptors. So a winning start to the West Coast road trip here. They really get on the West Coast after this one here. A little short stop in the middle in Memphis, but upcoming for the Raptors, it's some tough games. We got the Kings on Friday, Warriors Sunday, Lakers, Clippers, back-to-back nights, Tuesday, Wednesday, and the Jazz on Friday to round off that West Coast road trip. And you come home and it ain't any easier. You got the Celtics and Heat in 2 home games there. So tough stretch of games here. Again, I'm not as concerned about the win-loss. If we just continue to play like this, we continue to play well, I'll be happy. It's just so nice, guys. I come, like, you know, we got a game at the end of the day. I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited to watch the Raptors play, which I could not have said for the first 30 games this season. For a good chunk of games this season. We have that excitement back. It makes me happy. I'm having fun. Let's try to keep this going. So, if you guys enjoyed, got value out of this one, smash that like button and subscribe, because we do content like this for every Raptors game.